This meeting is called to order. Chief, will you do the honor of the front page? Face down.
School of prayer. Heavenly Father, precious Father, we love you for what you do for us on a daily basis, Lord, the blessings that you bestow upon us. We're certainly not worthy of any of those, but you do keep your holy hand upon us and you shine your light upon us. We certainly want to thank you for that. We ask that you be with this community as we approach the Christmas season. Lord, help us to understand the real reason for the season. Help us to remember that Christ went to the cross to die for our sins, and that's certainly a gift that can never be repaid. But it's certainly one that we love you for, and we certainly appreciate it. We ask that you be with this meeting tonight, give the council the sound knowledge and to make good decisions, Lord. We ask that you be with each and every one that's come out tonight here to participate in this meeting. These things we ask in your name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Stand, call the roll, please.
Mr. Archer.
Present.
Mr. Hoskins. Here. Ms. Thompson.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mayor Stanton.
Here. Item number 4, approving the minutes from your November 2018 meeting. What's council's pleasure?
Move for approval.
Have a motion, Mr. Archer, have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Wilson, call the roll.
Mr. Archer.
Yes.
Mr. Hoskins.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson. Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 5, reports from your boards, your commission, your department heads. What's your pleasure?
Move for approval.
Have a motion, Mr. Archer, have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Wilson, call the roll, stand.
Mr. Archer. President. Yes. Mr. Hoskins. Yes. Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson. Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 6, any comments from the citizens?
Yes, I do, Mayor.
Yep.
I'd like to address the council members. My wife, Ann, would like to be considered for vice mayor tonight. One reason, or the reason I think she's qualified is 4 years ago, before any of you other council members were here, she was actually nominated by Mr. Hatmaker, and before anybody was able to second that motion, the mayor made a comment that she wasn't qualified, which was true at the time, but that she wasn't qualified, and the only one there that was qualified was Mr. Bollinger, because he had been on the council the longest and that he was the most qualified. So, of course, Mr. Bollinger was appointed vice mayor. 2 years later, before anyone was nominated, again, Mike made a speech that Joe was the most qualified of anybody up there, and that he had been vice mayor, and that the thing that qualified him was that he had been on council the longest. So again, one of the council members that's there now said, well, it sounds good to me. And he got a second, and again, Joe went in. Well, keep in mind that if that's the way it works, and it's worked 2 times before, now Ann is the senior council member. She's been on the council for 4.5 years and has been re-elected again for 4 years and was the leading vote getter. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that she is the senior council member, and if that is what is fair and has been fair in the past, it needs to be fair now. So,
You know, Nick, I appreciate your comment, and I'm glad you made that comment, but, you know, I was a supporter of Ann when she ran for council. But, you know, like I tell this council, you know, we're elected by the people. We're sworn to an oath of office to represent them, the Constitution of the United States, and the codes of the Seal of Law. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
Here, I'm going to read this. This is the oath of office. I, Ann Thompson, solemnly swear to confirm that I will support the Constitution and will obey the laws of the United States and the state of Tennessee, and that I will, in all respects, observe the provisions of the charter, the city charter, and the ordinance of the Seal of Law. And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of city council. Is that not true?
That's true.
Why would she sign a lawsuit against the Seal of Law?
She didn't sign a lawsuit against the city.
She notarized it. Why would she notarize a lawsuit because it's her freedom?
She is a
I do
She is a public notary.
I'm a
She can
notary.
notarize anything for
All I do
anyone.
is notarize the signature.
Well, you know, I've been
She
here,
can notarize a signature for anyone in the state of
well,
Tennessee.
you know, I've been here since, come back from Vietnam.
Mhm.
I've been on council since '08. I've been sued probably 20 times on behalf of the city of LaFollette, and nobody has never notarized a lawsuit.
Mhm.
Can you explain it to me? Read?
I didn't notarize the lawsuit, all I did is notarize his signature.
She doesn't notarize a lawsuit. She notarizes a signature.
Well, she should have not got involved in it, period.
She wasn't involved in it. She notarized a signature.
All I
Ray,
did
can you
notarize
explain what a
I'm
notary
notary,
is?
Mike.
Well, I know him,
notarize.
I know his signature.
Mike, Ray, will you explain what a notary is?
Notary is we make an oath that whatever's contained in the document is true and accurate, I guess, and.
Oh, it's true.
The notary will just notarize, acknowledges that person signed that document.
Okay. But have you ever seen anybody notarize a lawsuit with some, mayor or council, as long as you've been attorney?
I don't know what you're talking about, I don't know what the lawsuit is.
It was Mr. Murdock over here.
I didn't have to
When he
see.
said the mayor and council was harassing him.
All I did was notarize his signature to agreement,
Well, that's very bad,
whatever his lawyer sent him.
well, that's bad business. You know, you should have let somebody else notarize it. You should have recused yourself from it, period.
So is that the reason she don't deserve to be vice mayor?
Hey, but I just break a tie. I don't recommend, I don't nominate, I just break a tie. And if it comes down to a tie, Mr. Thompson, I'll break a tie for the
Well,
city.
2 years ago, Mr. Stanfield, you sat out there and recommended Joe Bollinger to be vice mayor. And you're right, you just break a tie. The council didn't even discuss it.
I tell you what, Mr. Bollinger was a good council member, and he was a good vice mayor.
How'd that work out?
How'd it work out?
Mhm. How'd
Worked
that
out
work
fine.
out?
It worked out fine,
Okay,
all right?
okay.
Are you finished?
Maybe.
All right, we'll have
Are
a
you
seat.
finished?
We'll have a seat.
Are you finished?
We're gonna go on, have a seat.
Well, maybe.
Any more comments from the citizens? Mr. David?
No, I don't come to, oh, go ahead, I'm
Diane's hat. She's a great neighbor. My wife got shot back in February, and she's been there every day for her. And I ain't seen nobody else there for her, but Ann and Nick's been right there for us. And I think she's for the people, and I think she deserves the chance to be vice mayor.
And you happen to be your neighbor?
Yes.
All right, we appreciate that. David? Yeah, I know you're not a neighbor, but you're a friend, go ahead.
I'm not a neighbor, and of course I know Ann and everybody in here, but what you just did, what you just talked about is the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard you make. About notarizing somebody's signature? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, you don't live in the city, but your mom does.
Right.
She represents all the taxpayers of the city.
Well,
Not-
I own property in the city too.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
that's why I vote in the city.
all right, Mr. Murdock, he settled this lawsuit for $10,000. I was against settling anything, period, because nobody harasses Mr. Murdock, and Miss Thompson told him if he held out, he'd have got $30,000.
That's not,
Now, who we-
that's
who we-
not the issue of, that's not, you got apples and oranges here, buddy. If she notarized somebody's signature and she's a notary, she has the right to notarize anybody's signature.
All right,
Doesn't matter whose it is or what it's for.
right.
She had nothing to do with the lawsuit, I assume. Was her name in the lawsuit?
Not the lawsuit, but she
No, but she
represents the city.
represents our city, and our tax dollars is going for that lawsuit.
Buddy, again, you're wrong too. So, I'm gonna tell you, what you're doing here is apples and oranges.
Apples and oranges?
You got it.
Are you finished?
I am finished.
All right, get your prayers into them.
And let me tell you something. I'll sit down when I get ready to sit.
All right, sit down. Eddie,
Now, I've known you for a long time, haven't I?
you sure have.
Now, a notary, when somebody comes to you, they've got the right to notify anything that they want to, right? If they're a notary public. Is that right, Reed?
Yeah,
Okay.
notary can,
I voted probably for every one of you in here at one time or another. Right, wrong. Now, Ann's got more time on this council than anybody up there except you. If anybody's got a right to be vice mayor, it's they. Now, you know me, Mike.
I know you.
Everybody knows me. You know, and I'm not down here just blowing steam, you know.
Didn't you work for Ann's dad for years before Project?
No, never worked for JW.
Did you brothers? Did Danny and Peanut work there?
Sure did.
Okay.
But what's that got to do with me?
Nothing. You don't have any powers in this applicant.
That's
That's
right.
right.
But, you know, I'm a citizen.
Sure. Your taxpayers just paid a man $10,000
That's exactly right.
because of her.
I went and served my country just like everybody else did.
Yes, it was.
No, it
Yes, it was,
wasn't.
Ann.
I didn't have anything to do with that lawsuit.
The property that Mr. Murdoch owns, who owns that property?
What property?
Mr. Murdoch owns over here.
What's that got to do with anything here, Mike?
Her dad owns it.
Well, what's that got
What does
to
that have to
do?
do?
It's got a lot to do with it.
What property does he own?
JW, he owns the old bus station over here and the mulch yard.
He most certainly does not.
Who owns it? You?
I do,
Okay, well, he did own it.
yeah.
He did own it.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
It's all
What's that
about the
got to
dollar.
do with
It's
it?
all about taxpayers' dollar. Now,
Hey, look,
okay, and you've made your point. Now, go ahead and sit down here.
okay,
All right?
I ain't getting this, Mike.
No, I don't want you to forget. I won't forget either. That person's a better person, is, and all you guys.
What's
You
that got
come
to do with
tomorrow and take that
taxpayers'
sign down
money?
my garage.
Do what?
I said, you come tomorrow and take your sign off my garage.
You take it down if you want to. All
I'm going to.
right? All right.
How does her signing somebody's signature have anything to do with that property?
Well, she's not representing Mr. Murdoch in his lawsuit against the city. She's representing these people who's paying taxes.
Yeah, and let's see, how come that lawsuit went from way up there to way down there to hardly nothing? How come that happened?
Because he decided he'd settle for $10,000.
No, how come it really happened? What happened with his attorney?
I have no idea.
I think somebody does sitting up there.
I don't.
Well, Mike, you represent the people too.
You don't know what
Why
I
are you sitting up there arguing with the taxpayers? You've argued with
I'm not
every
arguing with the
taxpayer
taxpayers.
in here.
do. No, no. No,
What
no.
are you doing? You're
They don't know all of
telling every one
it.
of
They
us
don't
to
know the
sit
whole
down.
story. Nick, they don't know the whole story.
What's the
You
whole
remember,
story? What's the
Nick, you
whole
remember,
story?
I worked for you, your dad, for years. I know the whole story. I know the Thompson family. I know how you operate.
How do we operate?
You operate with her. Okay?
What are you saying, Mike?
I'm saying,
What exactly are you
we're
saying?
gonna move on.
What exactly are
Now-
you saying, Mike? How do we operate?
I'll tell you what, we'll do it after this meeting, okay? Let me get this meeting over with.
No, you tell me now in front of all the taxpayers, how do we operate?
How do you operate?
How does my family operate? Jimmy, you can be quiet.
All right, we're gonna move on.
How do we operate?
We're gonna move on.
We're not moving on to nothing until you tell me how.
No, we're gonna move on,
operate.
Mr. Thompson. I'm gonna ask you, sit down or go outside, okay?
No,
Chief?
I'm not leaving.
Chief, sit down, come outside.
Miss Farrell, if you take me out, you be prepared to charge me with something. You tell me how my family operates,
Now, I'll tell you, sit down.
okay? Take me out and charge me with something. No, no, no. You tell me how my family
I
operates.
told you after this meeting, I will confront you.
Let me
after
tell
this.
you something. Who got the most votes out of 7 people?
I don't
She
really,
did. The taxpayers spoke.
I don't really care.
The taxpayers spoke.
The taxpayers that voted don't know the story.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Open Meetings Act.
Sure.
Let's talk to everybody in
Chief.
town.
Sit down.
You better charge me. You're gonna charge me with something.
Come on, Nick.
You're gonna charge me with something. You're gonna charge me with something if you take me out. What you gonna do? What you gonna charge me with? First Amendment Act?
Come on, Nick.
First Amendment Act? No, I promise you, if you take me out, you're violating my First Amendment Act and my 14th Amendment Act, and this is a federal case.
You're speaking your rights, okay? You've done that.
No, I haven't. He hasn't answered me.
He's not going to.
He is gonna answer me too. Hey,
Nick.
Come on, Nick. Sit down, brother.
Come on, Nick. Let
Mr.
it go.
Jeffries, Mr. Archer, and Mr. Wilson,
Bill,
what about
Chief.
the Open Meetings Act?
Chief, we're gonna move
Everybody
on.
in town
Do something here,
knows
Chief.
what you
We'll move
are
on.
doing over here.
Come on, Nick.
Arrest me and charge me. Arrest me and charge me. You're gonna charge
We're
me
gonna
with
move on.
something?
All right. Under announcements. I would like to thank the people that helped sponsor this Santa Trot Saturday, our corporate sponsors. I have a Thought Machine Tool Company, C&L Furniture, People's Bank of the South, Gray Insurance, Thought Utilities, Jasper Mills, Bob's Merchandise, Walden's Funeral Home, Cubic McIndoe and Associates, Home Federal Bank, The Quilt Patch, CRW Engineers, Prior Attorneys, Rice Oil Company, Azoli's, Tabitha Smith, Dixie Roofing, First Volunteer Bank, Pew Company, Riggs' Drugstore, Purple Shows, and WLF. On behalf of the City of LaFont and Council, we just want to say thank you very much. All right, Mr. Petty, would you come up front, please? From one soldier, wait, one minute. From one soldier to another, I was asked last week to present you with this, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the family that want me to do this. Ronnie and Susie Carroll, they own a sports shop right here at Old Woodson's. And their son Chris. Okay, I know Ronnie and Susie Carroll all my life. I went to school with Ronnie and Susie at LaFont High School. I can still see Ronnie holding Susie's hand walking down the hallways of LaFont High School. Okay, when I got out of high school, I got married, and Ronnie married Susie. I went to Vietnam and came back, and I went to work for the street park. Ronnie went to work for Thought Utilities. I worked with Ronnie in all kinds of weather, and they're fine people. But some work down the road, you met her son Chris. Chris worked for Thought Utilities. He just passed away about 6 weeks ago. And he wanted you to have this. And they brought this to me, because I know you, to present this to you. And Chris was a fine young man. And I highly respect him and his family, but you met him somewhere in his life, and this knife meant something to you. And it was given to me to give you. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to open this knife, but curiosity today caused me to open this knife, and I see why Chris wanted you to have it. This is a brand new case knife still in the box. And Mr. Petty is a World War II veteran. He's almost 100 years old, and I kept thinking, why would Mr. Petty, at almost 100 years old, want a pocket knife? Well, this is why right here. This is a World War II knife. It says World War II, 1941 to 1945. In honor of Chris Carroll and his family, I'd like to present this knife to you. And on behalf of Chris, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas, Mr. Petty. And Mr. Archie, when you have $2, you was born 1921. There's nobody in here older than 1921, but Mr. Archie wanted you to have this.
Well, I appreciate it.
This is your gift, Archie. Merry Christmas. And thank you for your service. Okay, under administration, motion to rescind the acceptance of the fire department turnout gear. There was a misunderstanding on that. What's council's pleasure? And read big.
Make a motion to rescind it.
Have a motion by Ann, have a second.
Second.
Have a second by Mark. Call roll, Sam.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, employees insurance renewal. We talked about it in the workshop. Blue Cross Blue Shield come in cheaper. And Jimmy, will comment on?
Yeah, Mayor, Blue Cross Blue Shield come in cheaper. I think John Finley and David are here tonight. But my recommendation would be the column on the papers you have there, the column 3. And I think that's actually roughly $110,000 cheaper than the other quotes that we have.
Right.
So recommend taking column 3.
Okay, it's cheaper on the taxpayers and the employees got the same insurance, right, Jimmy?
Actually, the paperwork I have in column 4 is cheaper, almost $8,000.
It's with reduced benefits.
That the out-of-pocket is $600 less.
So
for the employees.
that's my recommendation is for column 3, Mayor, if you
Colin, there you have Jimmy's recommendation, which council's pleasure.
Move for acceptance.
Have a motion, Mr. Archer, have a second.
Second.
Have a second, Mr. Wilson, call the roll.
Mr. Archer? Yes. Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
No, and I want it known that it's gonna cost the city an additional $8,000, and it's also costing the employees an additional $600 a year. So I would say no.
Mr. Wilson? Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 3, appoint 911 Beverage. Right now, Ms. Thompson's on there. One of the council members is on there. Which council's pleasure on 911 board member?
I move for appointment of Hopper.
Have a motion by Mr. Archer, have a second.
don't, it's a nomination.
That's a second, okay. Call the roll, Stan.
Mr. Archer? No other nominations?
No,
You gotta ask for other.
is there anybody
Is
else?
that taking me off of the 911 board?
Just one council member is on there. You want on, still on it?
I've been happy with it. If Hot Rod wants it, that's fine.
Whatever the council wants.
Call the roll.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoskins?
I understand, I'm confused.
Ms. Thompson?
No, I'm happy with being on it.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, item number 4, appointment of vice mayor and the Bureau Board chairman. Have a nomination.
You know, we sit here and I'm sort of hurt by the fact that we had an outburst that we've had with this position. It's a highly honorary position, but it's also one that in the absence of the mayor requires someone to be able to be here. I've heard on the radio Ann talking, that she had a full-time job and taking care of her dad. It's very difficult. Again, we got to, I personally have to look toward somebody that can be here in your absence. And,
Well, like I said, I missed one meeting.
Hot Rod's retired. Again, I'll go with
But
him.
I will say I have more qualifications than anybody on board. I've been here longer.
Well, and I have 10 years previous experience.
I'm talking about on city council.
I've had 10 years previous experience on city council on Follow. So I served from 77 to 87 on city council.
There's a lot
And then
of
these
things changed in 30 years.
That's exactly right. But a lot of things have. But I made my nomination for Hot Rod.
Did you? Call it.
I'd like to say something.
Mark?
I was almost as methodical as Bill was with my decision. I was approached and told, because I'm new here, I'm not going to act like I know all the rules and regulations, that the most experienced person should be in a position of vice mayor. I wasn't in a position to argue, made sense. I was ready to come in and make a nomination. Then I did find out that Bill had 10 years previous experience plus his current experience on the city council, as well as 30 years county government.
36 years.
So if we go by seniority, Bill is much more experienced than anybody up here, or all of us put together.
Well, I told him that.
Well, then I thought a little further, that the people elected Mike Stanfield to be the mayor of the city of O'Fallon. This is my first meeting. Who am I to contradict what the voters of the city of O'Fallon want? Mike's gonna have to work with this vice mayor. He's also the vice mayor, if anything happens to Mike, God forbid, will be the predecessor and be the mayor until the next election. Well, it's my opinion that I'm gonna let Mike tell me who to nominate, because he's the one who I have to work with. Mike, you have a preference?
Well, like I say, I grew up with Hot Rod. I worked with Ann and Nick for years at West Snodo. And like I say, me being a street department employee, and Hot Rod being a fireman, he knows these departments like I do, you know.
I just don't wanna see what happened here tonight, keep going, whatever the hell we've gotta do. to
Well, I
stop
don't
it.
have, I'm not lying about anything, you know. I've been a public servant all my life. You can ask the guys that I fought in Vietnam with, and the ones that brought home in body bags. I was right there with them when they loaded them in a body bag to bring them home. You know, and then come back to the United States and people spit on us and call us names. No, I may be Mike Stanfield, I may be Mayor Mike Stanfield, but I want everybody to know out there, I'm a soldier. My country made me a soldier when I was a young man, and I'm a damn good soldier, and I'm a good mayor, I promise you that. I'll go Pop Rod. Stan Colorado.
Mr. Archer,
Yes.
Mr. Hoskins,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson,
No.
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah.
Motion carries. Anything else come for the council? No, it being none, this meeting is adjourned. Okay, Mr. Wilson.
We need to call the beer board to session, since we don't have any applications, but we do need to approve the 2019 beer license renewal
I'll make a motion.
and call roll.
Mr. Archer? Yes. Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Mayor Stanfield?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Here.
Chairman Wilson?
Yes.
Yes, son, over here. Sorry, thank you.
Get a motion to sign
I made the motion.
2019
I made the motion.
I make, or you did?
call roll.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Hoskins?
Yes.
Mayor Stanfield?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
No further business of the beer board will adjourn at this time.
Except for signing, they have to sign.
Yeah.